Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. It keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know from pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Decide who was bringing us in?
I thought you were.
No, I thought you were.
Bring them in.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. My name is Keith, and I am joined today by the magnanimous Cynthia.
Woo! Hello, everyone. I want to first mention if I sound a little different today, I am using a different microphone. It's like a miniature one, because Keith and I are practicing our social distancing right now.
There's a full-grown llama between us, so if you hear any other weird noises, it's because there's literally a full-grown llama in the room with us.
There is. Wait, that's what they say, right? That
yeah.
6 feet is the size of a full-grown llama. So, anyways, I do apologize if I sound weird as you guys are listening to me right now. But we'll get through this, okay?
Yeah.
And Keith, how was your last week?
It's been all right.
It's been all right.
Yeah, it's been a little eerie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like there's nobody out.
I know.
So weird.
Have you been getting takeout? Like, has that?
Yeah. I've been trying to support local businesses, which is a great excuse for me to just say I've been doing what I've always been doing, which is not grocery shopping because, I just, I live a pretty busy life. I bounce around a lot, so I don't cook at home a ton. So, yeah.
Have these restaurants, are their practices a little different? Like, when you go to takeout, do they open the door for you? Or is it, just drive-through?
No, most of the places that you can go in and take food out from, it's all normal. So, you just walk in, open the door, and then order your food, and then wait for your food. It's just not very crowded is the thing. So, there's a business around here that I've been frequenting with a couple buddies of mine called Kiki's Chicken, and whenever we go, it's pretty good. It's better than Chick-fil-A. Don't at me in the comments, but it's better than Chick-fil-A. Yeah,
okay.
It's really good.
So I don't eat a lot of fast food, but if I do, Chick-fil-A is my go-to.
Yeah. Well, most fit people, that is their go-to.
Really?
And you're a fit person. So.
I used to actually really like Taco Bell, and then
I love Taco Bell.
I know, that's why I mentioned.
I'm disgusting, but that's okay.
No, it's okay. But the fact that you're saying Kiki's Chicken is better than Chick-fil-A, that's a pretty big claim you're making right there, because Chick-fil-A is pretty good.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A just feels like decent chicken that is heightened by Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say it's the sauce.
Chick-fil-A is just it's basically like a fast food restaurant for tortilla chips that's overpriced. Look at all this great salsa we have. Eat it with our $10 tortilla chips.
Basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. The sauce is what makes it over. What's your favorite Chick-fil-A sauce?
Chick-fil-A sauce?
Yeah.
Do you know how many calories are in a packet of Chick-fil-A sauce?
I don't want to know.
Yeah. It's way more than you think.
Because
I used to work there, so.
You did?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
wait. I'm actually curious.
I think it's 320 calories for one packet of Chick-fil-A sauce.
I mean, that is high, but I thought it was going to be in the thousands. I thought you were going to say because Olive Garden breadsticks are really, I think it's I don't even know, 800, 900 calories for just one. So I thought you were going to be in that range. So I'm actually.
Wait, hold up. The all-you-can-eat breadsticks, the breadstick that's
okay, I know that's probably high, but they are. We need to Google it or something, but it's very high. I may have just been a little over the curve there, but no, the Chick-fil-A sauce, and what's the other one? I think it's not Hawaiian. Polynesian. There we go.
Yeah, their Polynesian sauce is bomb. Yeah.
Polynesian. Do you know how many calories that one has?
Do you?
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me.
asking.
I'd guess like 200. There's probably a ridiculous amount of sugar in it. That's the thing that gives most of these sauces all their calories is like the just ridiculous amount of sugar that they cram into those tiny little packets.
Okay,
so
one last fast food question, and then we'll actually like get into like the movie stuff.
Music stuff.
Or music.
Music podcast.
Music, I know. See, I'm like, I don't even know what day we're on. What? Did you try the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
Yes,
I did. Okay, how does that compare? Because I heard
it's better than Chick-fil-A's.
You're kidding.
It's spicier than Chick-fil-A's spicy sandwich. Yeah, it was worth the hype in my opinion, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, the only place, like Chick-fil-A is good, don't get me wrong, but like you got to know what to order and you got to know what you're getting.
Right.
And like the fries are subpar in my opinion.
It's the sauce.
Yeah, it's the sauce. It's like the fries are never crunchy enough. Or they're never salty enough. The sandwich never has enough pickles, and when you ask for extra pickles, they seriously.
I say no pickles.
No pickles.
I hate pickles.
Oh my goodness.
Pickles and mustard.
You're lost, but that's okay.
Those are the two things. Like I'm not a picky eater, but those are the two things I just can't stand.
That's okay.
All right, so you guys, we're done. We're done with the food talk. I know you guys are just loving our conversation right now. So let's actually get into some music news. As always, Keith and I, we each have a couple suggestions for this week. Actually, I lied. I have one suggestion. Keith has a lot more.
You can take the other one. It seems like something that you would suggest. Well, at least in theory, it sounds like something you would suggest.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it very soon. But I want to first share with you guys some music news, what's going on in the music industry. So if you haven't heard, Elton John is hosting a coronavirus benefit concert.
Coronavirus benefit concert.
That should be in a commercial.
You know, it's the tune to Hold Me Close Now, Tiny Dancer.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, where is that from? Where is that from? So,
Elton John song.
As I was saying before, you know, Keith just blessed us with his vocals. So Elton John is hosting a benefit concert to raise money for Feeding America and First Responders Children's Foundation.
Isn't Elton John British?
He is British.
So why is he feeding America?
He lives here.
Oh, he lives in America.
I'm pretty sure, like LA. Doesn't every artist live in LA?
I guess that would make sense if he lives in LA. It's just I assumed he lived in the UK somewhere because he's like a knight and he's British.
Right.
And he's awesome.
Right. He is. I really like Elton John.
I would much prefer to live. Well, I mean, I guess he's a little bit older. So like when you get older, being cold doesn't feel as good because your joints literally, it's harder to move.
Right.
Yeah. So I imagine that's why, you know, a lot of older people move to Florida and things like that. So.
Yeah. I don't know where he lives, but I'm assuming here in America. That's what he's raising money for. For Responders Children's Foundation and Feeding America. So this is a 1-hour event that will feature performance from Alicia Keys, Backstreet Boys, Billie Eilish, Green Day's Billie Joe Armstrong, Mariah Carey, and Tim McGraw. So those are the performances for the event, and the artists will film their performances from home. So don't worry, you guys. They are also practicing social distance. Right.
That's great.
I know, because I first read that, I was like, hold up. What do you mean a concert? Like, we should not be near people right now.
I hope at least like 3 or 4 of them make jokes that they're not wearing pants.
What?
And then they're like wearing like boxers or something like that.
I'm sure if they film from like the waist up,
exactly.
you know, they're wearing like sweats or like maybe just underwear.
I'm just surprised that like I haven't done that Bob Seger thing where they like do 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 do, and then you like run into the frame of the camera, and you're supposed to be wearing like a button-up shirt and
oh, okay,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and then you play air guitar,
right?
Yeah. Most people don't know that's a Bob Seger song because a lot of people don't know Bob Seger.
I know that when you said Bob Seger, I was like, who? But then you
Dad
mentioned,
Rock, yeah.
But then you mentioned the button-up. Like, okay, yep, I've seen it.
So
the iHeart Living Room Concert for America will air on Fox and iHeartMedia platforms on Sunday, March 29th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So everyone can watch it actually from the comfort of their own home if they wish to tune in. And what's even better about this event is that there will be no commercials.
Just product placement.
Right. I know, right? Product placement.
Yeah.
So it's commercial free, which is nice because.
So I'm wondering how they're going to develop revenue to donate if there's no commercials. So like, how are they making money off of the concert?
Maybe, I don't know. Like when I was researching about the event, there wasn't too much information out yet. So more information might come out.
Yeah.
I mean, what day are we on? Wednesday? So maybe like over the weekend they'll announce how they're actually going to be creating revenue.
Yeah, so this is on the 29th, which is 4 days from now.
Sunday.
So, yeah.
And this,
I wonder if they're going to take donations or something.
Maybe. Or I don't know if like the celebs who are performing are donating some type of cash.
Cash money.
Cash money, honey. There you go. And this event is taking place of the 2020 iHeartRadio Music Awards, which has also been postponed due to COVID-19. So
it'd be better if COVID-19 happened in 2019.
Right?
Yeah.
So I found out that 2019, they actually named it COVID-19 because they discovered the virus in 2019.
Oh.
But and the only reason why I know that is because in the health and wellness podcast that I do, I talked about the virus before it blew up, back in December actually. So
okay.
But now obviously it has like grown and expanded crazy. So that's the only reason why I know. I'm like, oh, that's why they put a 19. Not sure why it says COVID though. That I will have to get back to you. I do not know why they named it COVID.
COVID is usually it's all caps. So my guess is that it's an acronym for the shape of the virus. Kind of like strep throat is caused by streptococcus, which is a specific species of bacteria. Corona is the shape of a virus. So just calling it coronavirus doesn't effectively describe every aspect about it. So I think
coronavirus disease.
Not even that. Like corona is just the shape of the protein enzymes that make up the body of the virus. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, didn't know that you were on a health and wellness and food talk podcast.
I know.
We cover everything here.
I know.
And we'll be covering some actual music when we get back from this commercial break.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast. And we are done talking about the virus. We are done talking about fast food. We're actually going to get into...
Have you tried the new Triple Lupa at Taco Bell?
No, I haven't.
It's disgusting. Don't do it. For everybody out there, I know Taco Bell special items are usually great. This one's not. Anyway.
No. Okay.
Now no more food talk.
Yeah, now we're done with the food talk. So let's get into this first pick of the week.
Which was your pick?
Well, no, no, let me give credit where it's due. Keith, like I heard about Childish Gambino when it came out. A lot of people on Twitter were like, oh my God, like new album, but I haven't had a chance to listen to it. But then when you put it on the show notes, I was like, okay, like I was excited. I am going to say I'm not like a diehard, like Childish Gambino, lover fan. But I do like a couple of his songs and, overall I was pretty pleased with the project. The title of the album is called 3/15/20. So,
right, which was the original. Well, he released it on the 15th. So it's technically got released to everybody on the 22nd, but for a very brief period of time on the 15th, for like 12 hours, you could stream it on his website.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering that. I was like, why did he name it 3/15/20?
I don't know.
Yeah. Just Danny Glover things.
And Emily, is it Dixon? I think there's a poet. She didn't title any of her stuff except for with the date that she wrote it.
I know. It's a little confusing. I'm like trying to like, when I was listening to songs, I'm like, which ones do I like again? And they're just like all numbers. I'm like, and I don't even know what the numbers mean because they're not like dated. Like
no, I don't know what they mean either.
Like 1238. We have 2419, 3222, like all of just these like numbers and decimals. So not sure what they mean. And I did try to look up like what the numbers mean, but I wasn't able to find anything.
Yeah, it hasn't been out long enough for people to like crack the code.
Right.
One of the things that I was just like in my doing research about the record, Danny Glover has a tendency to write really heady intellectual stuff naturally. That's just kind of his niche, if you will. So he, a lot of people think that there is probably a lot to this record that we're not catching just yet. So, which I think is probably true. I definitely got very, like intellectual, heady vibes off of it. So
what's that one? Like, do you listen to Childish Gambino a lot prior to this album?
A fair amount.
Like, do you know that? What was that one song? Or he did a music video, but I can't remember the name of the song.
This is America.
This is America. Yeah. So, definitely like, that's definitely his niche, was like intellect. It's kind of, I almost want to compare him a little bit to Kendrick, just in exactly the things they talk about. You know, they're not rapping about girls and partying and drugs and the typical stuff that you hear in rap. So
well, Kendrick has some of those songs, but a lot of like, there was one that came out on his last record that was like, it had nothing to do with any of that and was pretty good, but I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I could see the comparison being pretty accurate there. I will argue that I think Childish Gambino is a superior artist just because he does more of the work himself than Kendrick does. And I just prefer Childish Gambino to Kendrick Lamar, but that's neither here nor there. I will say Kendrick Lamar has more songs on my workout playlist than Childish Gambino does. So there's that.
No, but I really liked this project. It was different. The songs are pretty long. Like, let me see.
I wrote that down in the show notes. There's like, most of the songs are 4 or more minutes long, which
that's pretty long.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that. The record, it felt like it drug on a little bit.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I would listen to one song and there's like 4 different beats in like 1 4 5 minute song. So I was like, am I still on the same record? And have I moved on? Cause I was just like letting it play while I was doing something. So I was a little bit confused with that, but I think there was one song in particular and it's 2419. So that song, it's like soulful and almost gospel like. That's the vibe I got. I enjoyed this track so much that I didn't even realize it was 8 minutes long.
Wow.
That's his longest song in the album, 2419.
Dang.
And I also liked the other tracks, Time and then 12.38, which 21 Savage is actually featured in 1238. So that was like a pleasant surprise because
cool.
In his track list, there's no features, or at least he didn't write out the features. So I was like, oh wait, this is 21 Savage. And I just like the, the female vocals in the background. I think it's a good contrast to like just, I don't know. I just really like it.
Yeah. I enjoyed that song too. It wasn't one of my favorites on the record.
Which one? Because I just talked about like 3 different lines.
Let's see.
I said Time, 1238, and then 2419.
Yeah, none of those were my favorites. I liked 1910, 3222, and 4226. But 4226 is it's off of his summer EP that he released a couple of years ago. So it's the second or third time he's released that song on a record. The record just, I don't know, Childish Gambino for me has often felt like there's this sense of apathy like about it that is like both simultaneously appealing and deterring, where it's like it feels like he doesn't care as much as he should or as much as I want him to about what it is that he's, writing about, and his delivery feels kind of like it's got this weird apathy with like this undertone of anger in it. So, which I think is unique and interesting in the whole like overall landscape of like artists and rappers, but I just don't necessarily think that I love it for like this particular record because a lot of the songs are just so long and like some of them are very experimental. Like there's one that he does with like this weird vocoder thing. I don't remember that.
Was that the first one? Because there was
there's a couple of them then.
The very first song in the track list is 0.00. That one, I don't think he even had lyrics in it. I think it was just like, I can't remember exactly what the beat was, but it was just beats. But they were like, I get what you mean that it was kind of experimental because that was kind of how I felt when I listened to the very first track in the album.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. Again, I listened to like a lot of music all at once. So I'm like, they're all jumbled in my mind right now. But, yeah, I get what you mean by it was experimental, but I still think he did like a good job doing that. I don't know. I feel like he tends to do that. No? Or am I tripping? Like, I feel like he kind of is always out of the box a little bit.
Yeah, he's always a little out there. Yeah. His last record, I listened to like 3 or 4 times before I finally decided whether or not I liked it. So it was definitely like good, but and this one is probably really good as well. I just haven't given it enough of an opportunity to really impress me. So I only have listened to it about like 1.2 times. So,
1.2? What does that mean?
Like I listened to a fifth of it after I listened to the whole thing. So
you're adding the decimals in there, just like the name of the songs here, the 1.2.
That's probably part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I need to listen to this album another time through, just to kind of really like hone in on the music, hone in on what he's saying,
right?
What's his message? Because I was just trying to just listen, enjoy it. I wasn't trying to analyze. I was just trying to I was just writing down initially what my first thoughts were. So yeah, I think. What would you rate 3, 15, 20 from Childish Gambino if you had to rate it out of 10?
6.5.
Really?
I didn't love it. I wanted to really like it.
I thought you were gonna come in. I thought you were gonna praise the album because you wrote it in our show notes. I was like, oh, you must have really digged it. So I'm surprised you're giving it a 6.5.
I mean, this is just on first listen.
If
you like Childish Gambino, you'll love this record. It's very Childish Gambino.
It is.
But if you are looking for something interesting or something reminiscent of what he used to put out, you're not going to find that here. It lacks kind of that I don't know, first time magic, I guess is what I would call it.
Okay.
It just feels, I don't know. And I think this is also the last record that he's putting out as Childish Gambino. He's changing his pseudonym or whatever it is.
Stage name?
His persona, right?
Really?
Yeah, he had mentioned that he wasn't going to make music with Childish Gambino as the title any longer.
Would it be just Danny Glover?
Ago. I would guess it'd be Danny Glover. I don't know. He might come up with another thing. I know that he can sing in addition to rap, so he might be interested in pursuing other genres. He is also an excellent actor, though he hasn't done as much acting lately.
Yeah, I think
he might want to get back into acting. So he might take a kind of a hiatus from the music scene for a little while. The record's definitely good and worth listening to. It's just that in the grand scheme of how good was it, I don't think that it was that amazing just yet. But this is a record that you have to sit on before you can really decide how much you like it. It just didn't grab me the way that I wanted it to. So. And
this is a first time score, you guys. So don't let Keith scare you and be like, oh no, it's a bad record.
What would you rate it?
First time listen. A 7. I think a 7 because it's passing. It's doable.
You can't think of it as percentages. If you were talking about percentages, I'd give it a 70% out of 100. But 6 out of 10 is different than 60%, in my opinion. And I know that seems arbitrary because it's just an extra 0. But the things that I would think make it better, I can more effectively say if we had a larger scale. Which maybe we should go out of 1,000.
1,000? Oh my God. I literally would not be able to do it. I feel like I'd still be 7 or 700. I'd still be, my mind is programmed to think as percentages where you might not view it that way. So yeah, that's why I'm thinking okay, passing.
That's because I almost failed out of school when I was in high school. So I don't think in percentages anymore because percentages hurt my feelings.
Percentages hurt my feelings. Well, I 100% respect your opinion.
Oh, thank you.
See,
there we go.
So yeah, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. That's a first time listen. I think I need to go back and listen to it again and just really digest the music. But yeah, not bad at all. I do recommend Childish Gambino 3, 15, 20.
Yeah. So the next pick was also my pick. It is the new Weeknd record called
come
After Hours.
Come on. That is a lie, you guys. That is a lie.
No, this was totally my pick. I love The Weeknd.
Do you
He's
really?
So great.
You're lying.
Oh, absolutely.
You're being sarcastic.
I'm not a Weeknd fan.
No?
I'm not a fan of The Weeknd, the band, or Weekends in general.
What? We're basically on every day is a Sunday pretty much right now. We're in a very long weekend. Well, you're working actually. Never mind.
Yeah,
you're still working. I was wait, I forgot you're working remotely.
Yes.
For me, every day is a Sunday for me. That's why it's really weird.
Things are just really crazy right now for a lot of people. Yeah.
It is. And so, did you already tell them what the name of the album is? After Hours?
After Hours.
After Hours by The Weeknd. And you guys, we'll talk more about this new album after this break.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hello, and welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
There we go. That was my little beat for today.
Thank you. Yes.
There we go.
Super appreciated it. Mm-hmm. Eventually, you'll be singing the music like I do.
Maybe. You never know. Never know.
So right before the break, we were talking about my pick for this week.
My pick, you guys.
Okay, it was Cynthia's pick. It was The Weeknd, After Hours. It was released on the 20th of March this year. That's 5 days ago. Oh, today's my little sister Rachel's birthday.
Happy birthday, Rachel.
Happy birthday, Rachel. I'll make sure to tell her that we said that
she's
on the podcast.
She's an Aries, huh?
I don't know.
I know she's an Aries.
Yeah,
Ask
I don't
her.
know the signs.
The only reason why I know is because my friend's birthday's coming up, and she's always talking about how she's an Aries. So that's literally, like, I don't know. Like, you could tell me, like, your birthday's in September. Like, I won't know off the top of my head what you are, but.
I think that's Libra.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do know a little bit.
I know
don't
some
know.
of them. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So, The Weeknd, we're not going to be talking about zodiac signs today.
Is there any subject we haven't covered on this podcast today?
I know, right? We've talked about, like, basically everything.
What's next?
So, I know. And we still have a lot of time left in this last segment, so who knows what we might come up with.
We have plenty of, we could, lots of things we could talk about.
Right. So, The Weeknd, After Hours, this is his fourth studio album. The last project he released was in 2016 called Starboy.
Which I did not like at all.
You didn't?
No. Couldn't stand it.
Wow.
Couldn't even make it through the whole record.
Wow. I will say.
Sorry.
I will say out of all of his projects, the very first one, House of Balloons, I think it's called.
Yeah, that one was good.
He dropped in 2011. That one I'm obsessed with. That's actually what made. I was in high school, so I was a junior, and I remember all my friends got me hooked onto The Weeknd from this project. So I've been a long time Weeknd fan, I guess you could say. And this is from The Weeknd's exact words. They asked him what to expect from this album, and he says, "You can find love, fear, friends, enemies, violence, dancing, sex, demons, angels, loneliness, and togetherness, all in the after hours of the night." So that's what he told Apple Music when they asked him, "What should your listeners expect from this project?" And overall, I liked this album, After Hours. It's definitely different from, like, if I'm comparing After Hours to his very first album, House of Balloons, it's very different.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a refreshing departure from what he normally does.
Right. So I really, really like the project. Some of my favorite songs were Too Late, Snow Child, Heartless, Blinding Lights, In Your Eyes, and Repeat After Me. And Heartless was actually the lead single to his 4th studio album, and it just became certified platinum by the RIAA on March 20th.
That's exciting.
Which happened to also be the same day he dropped this project. So
that's really cool. Yeah.
I really liked it. He draws, like, the entire project is very 80s.
Yeah.
Synth pop, right? I think that's
Absolutely,
like what the genre is called. Like, he draws on synth pop nostalgia, especially in Blinding Lights, which is another really popular single off of this project. I think Heartless and Blinding Lights were actually the first 2 singles he released to promote the album. And they've done really well. And
which is unsurprising in my opinion.
As you said, it's unsurprising?
Yeah, they're super catchy. They're fun. They're enjoyable to listen to. They're good.
Right. So I think, like, overall the production is solid as well. I really liked it. Really, really liked it. I'm going to listen to the whole record on my way back home right now. What were some of, like, your favorites from?
I really liked Hardest to Love, In Your Eyes, and Save Your Tears. Those were, like, my top 3 from the record.
We have one in common.
We do, yeah.
In Your Eyes.
Yeah.
I love this.
Which is not a cover of the Peter Gabriel song, in case anyone was wondering.
Who's that?
Gabriel. It's the song that's like, In Your Eyes, I see the future.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's the song that guy in that 80s movie plays when he holds up the boombox at the girl's house. So it's a pretty famous song. Because Peter Gabriel is the former lead singer of a band named Genesis, who was very popular with a lot of people in the, I want to say, mid to late 70s. So when he was coming out with his own solo stuff in the 80s, everybody was super excited about it. So he was a big deal. So In Your Eyes is like a classic 80s song.
It is. And I love the saxophone in Your Eyes. It was, like, not for a very long time, just like a little bit. But you know me, I've said this in, like, multiple episodes. If there's a saxophone in it, I'm going to already just like the song.
Yes.
Which just so kind of random. Do you know who Masego is?
Masego.
I feel like he's an artist you would really like.
Yeah.
He's not, like, super mainstream. Not that they like don't have to be mainstream or not, but Masego, he plays the saxophone and his music's really good, really vibey. I feel like you'd enjoy it. I'm personally recommending it to you, Keith.
I would guess that I've already listened to it. Honestly.
Let me put you on to good music. You're like, I already know who that is. Anyways, kind of random, but yeah, I just had to, like,
Ari Lennox. You got me into Ari Lennox.
Yes.
So.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
So pretty much the entire, or a big theme throughout his music and this specific project that I caught on, he addresses his, like, fast come up to being famous, to fame.
Yeah, he kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it was from his very first project. He gained a lot of fame from House of Balloons. And then, you know, he mentions a lot that he's around dangerous people in the industry. One of his lyrics, actually, which one is it? It says, 7 years I've been swimming with the sharks now. Another one is, it's way too late to save our souls, babe. And then another lyric is, Cali was mission, but now a Hida leaving. So all of those 3 lyrics, they're from 3 different songs that I pulled from the project, but they're all addressing, like, his fast come up to fame, his new lifestyle. You know, he's partying with models, getting high with drugs,
just
driving
broke up
cars.
with a model.
Right. So a lot of people are thinking that the project is referencing his on and off relationship with Bella Hadid.
I don't even know who that is.
She's like a supermodel. She hangs out a lot.
Is she really that super, though?
Now she is, honestly. She's getting there. She's pretty young. She's like early 20s.
Yeah, well, most supermodels are early 20s.
Her sister is Gigi Hadid. She's also another model.
I don't know either of these names.
They both hang out with, like, the Jenner clan, so, like, Kendall Jenner.
Oh,
they're friends with them. So, but, like, she does model. She didn't get famous from, like, being friends with them.
Yeah.
But, you know, just that whole world. So there's, like, you've seen pictures of The Weeknd. He's actually partied with, like, the Kardashians. Like, he's in that, like, very glitzy glamour lifestyle now. So
yeah,
throughout his music, he's just constantly referencing, you know, he needs to get out of LA. One of his songs actually is Escape from LA.
Yeah.
So I think that was, like, a pretty interesting.
Well, it's also probably an 80s reference because he drew a lot of inspiration from the 80s, and Escape from LA is an 80s movie or a record by, I can't remember the name of the producer who did it. So, yeah.
I think actually one of the producers for this project is also Lizzo's. Also Lizzo's producer.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The music industry, especially when you get into like the pop realm, is rather nepotistic. So it's like it's all about who you know.
Right.
So if you know this person, you can get work with this person. It's
right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And overall, yeah, I really liked it. Very different from what he typically does, and a lot of fans love it as well. He's been getting amazing feedback. Fans are raving about After Hours. What is your biggest takeaway from this project? Like, were you a fan of it? Were you Were you not for it?
I think my biggest takeaway is that I should always revisit artists who put out new work, even if I didn't like their original work. Mm-hmm. Because I did not like, what was it, Starboy? I really didn't like Starboy. But I thought it was worth giving this a shot, especially since you put it in the show notes.
Right. So I'm forcing you to listen to it a little bit.
Yeah, and I actually really did enjoy it. I would give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty high score for Keith, you guys.
It is, yes. I don't give those out
he
very
redeemed
often.
himself, would you say, from this project?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think if I were to go to Coachella and see him perform this, because he was at Coachella the first time I was there.
Yeah.
Actually, that was right when the Balloons one came out. So I went in 2012.
Okay,
so literally,
so it was
right. He's riding that wave. I definitely enjoyed this. I think that it's worth a listen. You should definitely check it out. I mean, it's got a lot of universal appeal to a ton of different demographics, which is just another thing that makes it good.
Right.
So
there we go.
Yeah,
we both agree. Go listen. All right, so let's now get into your actual picks for the week.
The last two picks that we've got for this week. They'll be quick. Yeah, there's not a ton to say about either of these particular bands. They're just kind of records that I listened to this week that I thought I would share. So the first one is a band called Bahamas. The record is called Earth Tones. It was released in 2018. Bahamas is the project of a gentleman by the name of Afi Jervaven. This is his fourth studio record. He is a Finnish Canadian. Which is really interesting because Earth Tones is super reggae and island sounding.
It does. That's what I thought. I was like,
and Bahamas is the name of his band, and he lives in Canada. So I think it's really funny that he lives in Canada and has named his band Bahamas. So
maybe he's pointing to where I wish I could be. Warmer weather.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I actually, on first listen, I really liked this record, and on second listen, I did not like this record as much as I did at the first time.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge reggae fan, and a lot of these songs just felt very repetitive, reggae-ish.
See, and
some of them are really interesting.
Yeah,
but
I love reggae, and I love that sound, and it doesn't, to me, I could listen to it over and over again. But I do get what you said, that can sound a little repetitive. Mm-hmm. But to me, that doesn't bother me, that it all sounds so similar. Some of my favorite songs were No Wrong, Way with Words, and Bad Boys Need Love Too.
I did like Way with Words. That was a good one.
Yeah, and especially Bad Boys Need Love Too. I loved the female vocalist mixed with a deep voice. Mm-hmm. The guy was you know who I'm talking to. You have a deeper voice than me, so you can probably do it, but it was the females are singing all high pitch, and he's you know who you're talking to, and Bad Boys Need Love Too. So I was I thought I liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting for sure. His first record was so good. The first Bahamas record, or no, maybe it was the second one. I don't know. I think it's called Bahamas is a Fee. Afi. It's basically his name, and there's a few tracks off of that record that are just incredibly reflective and personal songs that feel very intimate, and this record just didn't have that same feel for me, so I kind of lost my love for it. So yeah, but it's definitely good. Don't
listen to it twice like Keith, or you won't
listen to it once and then just let it sit. Come back to it a little bit later, maybe add a song or two to another playlist that you got going on, something like that. So yeah,
there you go. All right. So what's this next one you have?
Okay, and then the last one that I've got for us today is a band called Naked Giants.
Okay.
Band title is, or the record album is called Sluff, SLUFF, all caps. They are from Seattle. This is their first studio record. And the way that I would describe this band is they're the best, most polished version of a fun, shouty local band that you could hear on Spotify.
Shouty band?
Yeah, so if you go to if you go to local shows, especially in the Sacramento area, and I'm sure this is true in a lot. Yeah, I'm sure this is true in a lot of different areas. But if you go to local shows, you're going to get a lot of these like punk bands who think that they're doing something really cool or interesting, but really they're just kind of doing the same thing that everybody else is doing and trying to write it off as something new and unique. Mm-hmm. And so these guys are the best version of that, is my opinion, because they're good and super fun, and there's a lot of great like guitar centric work with some shouty gang vocals. Mm-hmm. It just feels like generally fun and upbeat, but like overall, I don't necessarily think that it's like the most amazing thing that's ever happened in music, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I definitely enjoyed it, and I would recommend it for a listen, just if for nothing else than to give them more plays on Spotify, because I think that they deserve it. But like they're described as like a psychedelic rock band, and like I did not get that vibe from this record.
Psychedelic.
Yeah, it just feels very
I got like
straightforward.
rock for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely rock.
Yeah.
It felt more punk, like pop punk to me than anything else. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. You guys should definitely let us know in the comments if you listen to this what you think. But like their lyrics or the melodies are super catchy. And
my brother, I was playing Everybody Thinks They Know, but no one really knows.
Which is super cute.
And my brother was just walking by, and he started like actually singing like the chorus part.
It's super catchy.
Right. He was like, it's catchy. I was like, okay. So that's how
it feels like it goes at the beginning of like some like the lowest budget summer blockbuster gets this song, you know, like it's still a blockbuster, but like it's not like, you know, it's just different. So I really liked the track TV. That one was a little more shouty. I have a tendency to like the shouty tracks, but tracks. I enjoyed this one. I would recommend that y'all go give it a listen. And yeah, I think that's about all we've got for you guys this week.
I know. That was a lot. So, I mean, we covered that Elton John will be hosting a coronavirus benefit concert, which again, that will be airing Sunday, March 29th, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I think Pacific time, that's 6 p.m. Mm-hmm. We covered Childish Gambino's album, 3/15/20, The Weeknd, After Hours, Bahamas, Earth Tones, and then the Naked Giants right now with their album Slough. So we had a lot going on today.
We did, yes.
I know. And if you guys liked what we had to cover, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment.
Leave us a 5-star review. That'd be great.
Always.
Yes.
Always. We'll come for you.
Follow us on Twitter.
All of that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we'll absolutely go after you if you hate on us on the review site.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm egging your house. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But we'll maintain healthy social distancing.
Right.
Speaking of which, before we get out of here, guys, I know that everything sucks right now, but we should all be doing our part, like Cynthia and I, with our full-grown llama between us, to make sure that we're following the guidelines so that we can help get things back to normal as fast as possible.
Yes,
so
like the quicker we all just follow what the CDC is saying, the quicker we can all go back to our normal lives.
Which would be great.
Which very great. That means I'd have my job back.
Yes,
so please.
Yes. Cynthia works in a gym, so she'll be one of the last people to get her job back.
Yeah, basically. So
we should definitely, keep our minds and our hearts aligned with what the government is requesting of us, just so that we can, help
for the
everybody.
Greater good, you guys.
For the greater good, yes. So on that note, we will talk to you guys next week. Stay safe out there, and have a good night.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.